Hello and welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror media. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm King Rage.
And today we are looking at Scream the short film. Get out of here. Made in 2023, written and directed by JJ Starr and Rage Poe, Scream the short film is a love letter to the Scream franchise. JJ and his friends left the theater after watching Scream
6
and wanted to make their own, consisting of a cast of all of JJ's friends and family, including school teachers who have never acted before. In this movie's short runtime, does Ghostface kill as many people as he does in the real movies? Let's find out and get to the kills.
We open up with our first victim, James, playing on his film. James is played by editor Rage Poe, who gets to start with his family finding short skits like Granny.
I'm gonna fucking beat that ass. That motherfucking old ass granny.
James is laying in his bed playing on his phone when he gets a phone call from someone. Who is this that's calling him? Well, it's our very good friend. Oh, my bad. It's just his mom telling him that her car tires popped on nails.
James is very nervous, but his mom tells him it's okay and to go get a snack. James doesn't want this, but he goes and listens to his mommy and grabs a protein bar. When downstairs, James turns on YouTube and watches this amazing YouTube channel.
There are many references to dead meat on the short film. James gets a phone call and declines while calling it a scam call.
No Scream trilogy with Scream 3 capping off.
James is probably the smartest character in any Scream media. The phone rings again, but he answers it, so ignore what I said 5 seconds ago.
We hear the sweet, sexy voice of Ghost. Oh. I'm wrong again. To show that this movie takes place in basically our real world, they use a different voice that you can use on a real voice changer. Our killer starts to ask James some horror trivia where James' actor, Rage, has a verbal mistake. Instead of saying Pamela Voorhees, he said her name is Pamela Voorhees.
That's Pamela Voorhees. As expected, our killer starts to sound more angry and violent, and James decides to grab a gun for protection. This gun does absolutely nothing if you hold it like a cupcake. That shows to be true when Ghostface walks out of the closet. Wait, that is a clown. Clownface cuts James' hand and James shoots in the sky.
James falls down and kicks Clownface away. He crawls out the door for some reason, instead of standing up. Clownface stands up and walks to James. James gives a nasty right hook, but our killer grabs his hand and throws him to the door. He falls down and Clownface stabs him 2 times. James asks who our killer is, and Clownface removes the mask to reveal a title card.
We head over to Todd and Joey practicing for a presentation. Todd is played by writer and director JJ Starr, and Joey is played by his sister Julia Starr. It's unclear if they're siblings or just in the same friend group in the movie, but JJ has stated they aren't siblings, just good friends most of the time. Rachel calls Todd and tells him James was killed, and they all agree to meet up at the park.
We head over to what I would consider my favorite character, and her best friends. The group of friends are going on a trip to Bobby Mackey's after work, at their school. Bobby Mackey's is a bar in Kentucky that is considered the most haunted bar in America. That's the reason Becky doesn't want to go, but her friend Jane says that if she goes, she will buy the first 3 drinks.
They mention a student that they have named Jello. This leads into a blooper where Jane's actress, Jennifer Ortega, no, not that one, mentions that she needs a Jello drop instead of a lemon drop.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need those Jello drops because
Becky, who is played by Mackenzie Derry, who when told by director JJ to make up a kid's name but mention a real story from her classroom, she came up with a fantastic story. She stares right into the camera, but I don't really care because her delivery of this line is fantastic.
And then Miss Valega had to come in.
The other teachers have their own monologues.
That was the first scene that was ever recorded for this movie. At the end, they all leave their room to go back to class. Todd and Joey are walking up to the table where Lucas and Rachel are sitting. Todd doesn't believe that Rachel is telling the truth, but she looks at him and says she's being serious. Todd explains how he's gonna miss his best friend. Joey looks at him and mentions,
Thought you guys were on bad terms after your fight.
he mentions that he is still his best friend, and the most savage character looks at him and says,
He was your best friend.
Rachel, what the fuck?
What the fuck is right, dude? What is this? Rachel has no chill. Todd says he needs to go to his grandma's house, so he stands up and leaves while Joey is with Rachel and Lucas. Todd is walking to his grandma's house when she yells out the front door to get something out of the trunk. He walks inside his granny's living room, and she is already the most wholesome character in this movie. Todd talks to her about the death of his best friend James. She offers him cookies, but he says no, then leaves the house. Who the fuck wouldn't want some cookies made by a grandma?
We are looking at an elevator and it opens up to Jane. She walks out the elevator and sees Becky at her class sticking her head out the door. Jane walks to her class and before she can even do anything, she gets an email from her coworker Taylor. They have a conversation about if they were gonna work for the school next year. This part gets really boring, but behind the scenes, the cast was having a great time filming.
I get it.
We see the elevator opening back up, but holy shit, it's Ghostface! Finally, 15 minutes in and Ghostface appears, which is very clever, and our writer had great ideas for this story. Jane walks back over to Taylor's class and she finds her dead in a room. This kill is not very impressive at all. But filming this in a real school, they had to be very careful with the blood. So Jane runs down the hallway to find Becky. Once she gets Becky, they run back to look at the body to make sure. Ghostface slams the door and chases them to Becky's class. They barricade the door, but what? That door doesn't even open the right way that it would be useful. Becky runs to the phone to call 911, while Jane runs to the window to see if she can get some help. Another Ghostface appears and stabs Becky on the back while she's on the phone. Jane doesn't last any longer, and she gets her throat slit by Mr. Ghostface. We see Becky crawling out of the room after Ghostface leaves.
Todd is walking down the street, but oh my gosh, what is that? That music sounds a little familiar, don't you think? Rachel walks over to her friends and tells them the police released more information. Todd looks around and decides to leave with Joey, leaving Lucas sitting there with his sister Rachel. Lucas is very suspicious of Todd and he believes that Todd could be the killer. Rachel thinks logically and realizes Todd is the only one that has a motive here. Joey and Todd split up and we follow Joey upstairs. She starts smoking when Ghostface runs up behind her and stabs her. She falls down and Ghostface goes to town stabbing her in her stomach. I guess she didn't hear the memo. Smoking kills.
The camera cuts back to Grandma watching the news. We find out that one of the teachers is Todd's sister.
Bodies have been identified as Taylor, Sailor, and...
Oh my god!
Grandma is really distraught about her granddaughter's death. Suddenly, she gets a phone call from Ghostface, who again, sounds very different. The killer basically admits that he is Todd, but immediately takes it back at the end. We get a horror movie scream. Grandma's actress, Sharon, was not aware of the extent her character was going to be. This was real action here, people. Ghostface stabs her and walks away.
Rachel and Lucas are sitting at a table while Rachel starts to smoke. Lucas is shocked. She offers him one, but he refuses. Rachel drags Todd's name through the mud right now. She is 100% certain that he is the killer. Todd throws a hissy fit and walks away with Lucas.
Lucas and Todd are sitting on the swings. Todd asks Lucas if he thinks he is the killer. Todd stands up and says,
I was the killer. Run!
Ghostface pops up behind them and starts to chase them. He doesn't make it very far in the blooper, where stuntman Rage slips and falls.
Run!
Ghostface follows them up on the play structure. Todd uses his jacket to push Ghostface away. The boys run to a garage, but a different Ghostface is behind them.
The other Ghostface walks up in front of them and removes their mask. We finally see that the killer is Rachel. Throughout the whole movie, we saw hints of this, like how Joey's death involved her smoking. Later in the movie, we see Rachel smoking a pack of cigarettes that's supposed to be the same pack. She's literally smoking that Joey pack. The other Ghostface walks up behind her and moves towards Lucas and Todd. Todd admits to Lucas that he was in fact the one that killed James that night. We cut to a flashback at an old fair where James, Todd, Joey, and their friend Trisha, who is only in the movie here, they go through a funhouse when James spots his friend Trisha. They all hang out. Todd becomes a little pissed boy and he's mad that James is hanging out with Trisha.
Todd explains because of his incident, he's gonna kill James. We cut back to present day, where the other Ghostface removes his mask. It is a guy we've never seen before. He reveals he is the killer for hire. He argues with Rachel about Lady Gaga tickets.
When the job's done, 2 tickets to Lady Gaga.
What? I asked for cash, not Lady Gaga tickets.
I offered you payment, not money.
Am I supposed to take my family to fucking Taylor Swift for food?
It's Lady Gaga, not Taylor Swift. Are you a fucking idiot?
When he is shot in the head by an unknown person.
We finally see who the last killer is. James is alive and he explains that when Todd was attacking him, he somehow missed every single fucking vital organ in his body.
Well, when you were attacking me, you somehow missed every single fucking vital organ in my body.
Todd throws a rock at Rachel. Rachel looks at him and rolls her eyes. James shoots Todd and Todd falls back and off of the garage. His body explodes. Lucas runs up and grabs the gun. He steals it and runs off. Rachel and James chase after Lucas. Lucas hits a dead end and shoots the gun. He shoots Rachel and we can see that he killed his own sister. James walks up and grabs the gun after Lucas used the last bullet. Lucas pushes him back and runs downstairs.
James grabs a knife and throws Lucas to the ground. Lucas kicks James in the balls and James falls down. Lucas grabs a knife and slits James' throat and stabs him in the stomach. We cut to a news report by Nicole Smith. We find out Lucas was arrested for the murders.
Our final scene shows Becky is alive and talking to her therapist. She gets a phone call and she answers it. We finally hear the real voice of Ghostface at the end of the movie. So I'd say let's get to the numbers, but my friend Nicole Smith has already said it, so let's just hear what she has to say.
Weiser is accused of killing 7 people, including 2 elementary teachers that we previously reported on.
Nicole did good, but let's see if I can do it. Scream the short film had 8 kills, consisting of 5 women and 3 men. That left us with a kill on average every 4.5 minutes.
Oh, let me do this part. I give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to James because his was the most practical. The machete for lamest kill will go to Taylor because there was no sign of blood and that she was even dead.
Scream the short film is available to watch on YouTube on the channel Nomicon Productions.
Also, James, you should definitely watch Scream the short film and do your own kill count.
That was Scream the short film. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Link in the description, for bloopers and the movie.
And to James A. Janice's channel, Dead Meat.
We got all the links. Oh.
Be good people.